Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. What's up, Big
Hey, thanks for coming, and I hope you guys enjoy the presentation. Okay, so everybody knows syndicates give good XP, and but exactly how good XP do they give? So does anybody in chat know um, whether the rank affects the XP, whether the map tier affects the XP? Um, okay. Well, I guess I'll just answer it. So these are all questions that I needed to figure out before the race. So I did a lot of testing, and what I found out was rank matters a lot, and map tier matters, but much less. So a rank 0 syndicate will give, let's say, baseline 1 XP. Rank 1 will give 8% more XP, and a rank 3 syndicate will give 36% more XP. So this matters a lot. And the map tier it does affect the XP, but it's not as relevant. And if you want to see the actual numbers, um, I have them in a spreadsheet at this URL, and yeah, you can check that out to see the actual data that I collected. So basically, high rank is good. It gives a lot more XP than lower rank. So now for syndicate strategies, I came up with 4 general strategies, and I'm not going to talk about like exactly how to maximize lines or how to maximize rank. And if you wanna, I suggest going to Garotha's stream and asking him about syndicates, because that's where I learned most of what I know about syndicates, like how to do these things. He's I call him the god of the foothills, because he spends a lot of time in foothills, and so by maximizing lines, I mean um, the connections on your board, so trusted or rivals. Maximizing rank is exactly what it says. Maximizing intel is choosing the options which give you the most intel, so you can get the most safe houses. And the most I've gotten is I think 6 or 7 safe houses. And then maximizing best encounters is, um, to me, the best encounters are intervention and transportation. And the reason for that is fortification and research are bad. Fortification, you have to get to the wall, so it takes extra time. And research is bad because most of the mobs inside the research don't give XP. And it takes a lot of time to go through there. If your game crashes, you have to go back into the research. So in my practice runs, I tried all of these strategies out, and in my experience, well, in the end, I went with maximizing rank and maximizing lines. So yeah, that's what I focused on in the race. Uh, okay, so now I'm going to talk about my Atlas strategy. So I know people were spying on me and noticed that I was keep on starting on the bottom left quadrant, and they're talking about an alleyway strat. But first, I want to talk about why I don't start in the top right, and then I want to talk about the top left, bottom right, and then finally I want to end with why I chose the bottom left. Okay, so why not start top right? Everybody knows Valve Pyramid is very bad. It's a bad layout. The mob count's okay, but it just takes too long to clear. And the bigger problem here is if you start in the top right, you want to run beaches and city squares, but since beach is adjacent to both city square and fall pyramid, this map will always drop. Even if you complete it or don't complete it, you'll always drop it if you run beaches. So that's just very bad.
Hi, Billy Mays here with... But wait, there's more!
Okay, so another reason I don't start at the top right is the tier 4 map splits. So when I say splits, that means, for example, when you look at beach, it splits. There are two adjacent tier 5s, so city square and Val pyramid. So splitting is bad because, first of all, you can't control which map shaper goes. So let's say your shaper influences on beach, you kill a boss, you can't 100% control which way it'll go. And the second reason is, if you run beaches, it's harder to get exactly the map you want. So you'll either get city square or Val pyramid. And the third reason is, if you try to vendor up a tier, so like 3 beaches, it's harder to get the map you want. So since it splits, it can either be city square or Val pyramid. In a recent patch, you can try a different combination of beaches and eventually get the map you want, but it takes more than 3 is the point. You'll need like 4 or 5 different beaches to get the one that you want. So that's why splitting is bad and not splitting is good.
But I'm not done yet!
Okay, so this is probably the biggest reason I didn't choose the top right. So ideally what you want to do is, the shaper influence is here, it moves the pen, cage, beach, and city square. So the reason why you want to go up is because you can notice here at cage, cage does not split, but bone crypt does split, and we know splitting is bad, so that's why you want to go up this way. But the problem with cage is fortification is bugged, so sometimes fortification will spawn outside of the map on cage, and that's incredibly bad. It's bad for a lot of reasons. So since it's bugged, you'll get less syndicate encounters, which is less rank up, less lines, and less XP. So it's kind of a snowballing effect. This is just so bad. So I just ruled out starting top right because of this.
But I'm still not done!
Okay, just kidding. I'm actually done with the top right. So now let's look at the top left and bottom right. So the top left, the problem is it splits way too much. So you can see Atoll, it splits here, it splits here, it splits here again, it splits there. It's too hard to control actually where the shaper influence to go and the map she needs. So it's too much RNG. It splits there, yeah, too much RNG here. The bottom right, you can see that it doesn't split very much. So it only splits there and there. There's no splitting going on here. And it doesn't split from 4 to 5, which is very important. Making sure it doesn't split from 4 to 5 is important because you really want to complete the Zona quest line, which ends at tier 5. And it sometimes can be hard to build up a base of tier 4s. So that's why it's very important that it does not split. The problem with the bottom right is these maps are just not good. So you can see dungeon is not good, courtyard not good, gardens, residences are very bad. So that's the bottom right. Bottom right is not good. So that leaves the bottom left. Okay, so what's so good about the bottom left? It has very good XP per hour maps. So in particular, these 4 maps are extremely good in my opinion. Armory, Excavation, Glacier, and Graveyard. And people were saying that Alleyways is OP, and I kind of disagree. When I tested it for a Flame Dash Elementalist, City Square was much better than Alleyways, and Beach was better than Glacier in terms of XP per hour, nothing else. So Um, but there's something to be said because remember when I said when you start top right, you will always get vol pyramid drops because you will be running beaches. So on average, if you go glacier and alleyways, there's no other tier 5 that drops. These are okay maps, and glacier plus alleyways is greater than beach plus city square plus vol pyramid because on average you'll get vol pyramid drops, and they're just so bad that it brings the average down. So I think this is just better. It's like a safer play, and overall it's better on average.
But wait, there's more!
This is just the alleyways layout, why I think it's not as good as City Square. First of all, it's too large. There's so many obstacles, it makes it hard to shield charge or flame dash or whatever. And also there's always some backtracking you have to do. So there's monsters in these pockets sometimes, and there's a big area over here you have to backtrack to as well. But the main reason is just it's too large. And this was taken from Steel Mage's stream.
But I'm still not done!
Okay, so now back to the whole splitting thing. You can notice that Tier 4 Glacier does not split, Tier 4 Strand does not split, Desert is Tier 3, this is Tier 3, so. And Spider Lair splits, which is not good, but there are things that you can do to affect how Shaper moves in this quadrant. Okay, so GGG never released the actual numbers on how Shaper moves. Like, for example, if you start with Channel, we don't know the percent chance which you'll go Thicket or Armory, but assuming that there's an equal distribution, like it's weighted equally, so you run Channel, there's a 50% chance it goes to Armory or Thicket. So you want it to go to Armory, but if you get unlucky and it goes to Thicket, that's bad. But instead of running Thicket right away, what you can do is you run Armory before you kill the boss here. You complete this map, so then you run Thicket. When you run Thicket, the Shaper Influence will move to a Tier 3. So since you completed this, it can move to Graveyard, Excavation, or Desert. So as you can see, there's a 2/3 chance of succeeding and a 1/3 chance of failing. Let's say you get really unlucky and it moves to Desert. You can do the same thing again. You run the Excavation before you run Desert. So now, once you run Desert, the influence will move to Glacier, Strand, or Spider Lair. Again, there's a 2/3 chance of succeeding, and then there's a 1/3 chance of failing. So this is split, so I consider this a fail. So the chance of failing here is 1/2 times 1/3 times 1/3. So it's 1/18th chance of failure. So 5.5% of the time you will fail, which is very low in my opinion. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Hi, Billy Mays here with... But wait, there's more!
Okay, so are you guys ready for the craziest part? You guys ready? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys here. Do you guys notice anything about these images? This is from the race. I took them from their streams, and I want to see if you guys can notice anything about these images. Yeah, Camel's right. They're all the same maps. So as you can see, you get 1 graveyard, 2 air legs, 1 19 quality channel, Bone Crypt, rare, and 2 armory maps. And I don't know if this has always been the case, but for the past 3 days I've tested it and it's always been the same. So okay, so now that we know the map Zana sells is always the same. So guess where a lot of these maps are located on the atlas?
But I'm not done yet.
These maps are located a lot in the bottom left. So, you know how after you kill Kitava, you're kind of hungry, right? You're hungry to complete the Zana questline so you can get tier 5 shaped Zana.
Can I get a sausage burrito? Make that 2 sausage burritos. 2 sausage burritos. You want to get one? Okay, 2 sausage burritos. And you know what? Let me wash that down with some Coca-Cola. Okay, Diet Coke.
Okay, so Zana gives you exactly that. You get your hash brown, you got 2 sausage burritos, and you got your Diet Coke. So, like, you get 2 sausage burritos. How can you go wrong? In case like one of them is bad, you have another one. So basically, what this does is it lets you jumpstart your Zana questline. It lets you always have a chance to go up, so you'll have a lower chance of failure. You will have these maps already before you even start mapping. It's guaranteed. There's very little RNG involved. I don't think map RNG matters at all in these short races. And, well, very little, I want to say. If you do it properly, I don't think it matters too much. And yeah, I think that's all.
Hi, Billy Mays here. But wait, there's more.
Oh, just kidding, there's more. Okay, so this is kind of what I thought about, like the dream setup, like this is like the best possible scenario that I could imagine. So you start at the bottom left. Let's say it starts here. You run one channel map. Shaper Influence moves to Armory. You run one Armory, it moves to Graveyard, and you get a Graveyard, and so on to Alleyways, okay? So from Zana, you take City Square, you complete City Square, and then what you do is you get an Ashenwood, and you complete it, and then from Zana you take Haunted Mansion, and another Primordial Pool drops, which is tier 7, so it goes Alleyways, Ashenwood, Primordial Pool. And then once you complete that, you take Toxic Sewer from Zana. And then I personally would remove Alleyways from the Atlas with Sextants. And then what you do is you shape City Squares, and then you get infinite Toxic Sewers and Haunted Mansions. This is just like the best case scenario that I could think of, and it's very unrealistic. And yeah, I think Brown Man PoE, he said he got a 550 level 85. I think if you do something like this, you can get like 540, maybe even 530. But this is very unrealistic.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, so it wouldn't be my stream without talking about loading screens, of course. So I tested the hideout loading screens for all the hideouts that I have. So I don't have all the hideouts, but I have a lot of, like, the base ones. And I removed all the decorations, all the pets, everything. And so as you can see, Enlightened Hideout has a 0.7 second load screen, while Coastal Hideout has, this is the worst and this is the best, basically. So that's 76% more time you spend in load screens if you have a bad hideout than a good hideout. And since you spend the last 2 or 3 hours of the race mapping, in my opinion, this is very important to have. So I use the Enlightened Hideout, of course, and the data I've collected, it's not very much, but it's just 3 samples of each hideout, and it's in sheet 2 of the same spreadsheet.
Hi, Billy Mays here.